In today's news, we see 4 in police custody for the murder of Miss Catherine Pickering. Derek Chauvin was last night, convicted on 3 counts for the murder of Mr. George Floyd. A 17-year-old boy is now hospitalized following a stab wound to his leg. And today we are live with family member of 19-year-old Leondre Roberts, who of course is raising funds for urgent medical care in Cuba. All that and so much more on today's edition of 284 News. A warm 284 media welcome to all of our viewers. It is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Now, a beautiful day here in the Virgin Islands. And of course, so happy to be bringing you today's dose of local, regional, as well as international content. Now, topping our headlines today, a 17-year-old boy is now hospitalized at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital. Now, according to police reports, the boy was found on Main Street, badly beaten and brutalized. Now, as you all know by now, there is a video circulating on social media that is showing a young man, of course, being viciously questioned on the robbery of food establishment Yo Mama's and, of course, other businesses who were recently robbed within the last few weeks. However, police are yet to confirm if the teen hospitalized is indeed the same teen. In the video, of course, investigations are ongoing in this matter. On the international scene, we see Derek Chauvin being convicted for the murder of Mr. George Floyd. And of course, we're so happy to get into that. Additionally, we are live today with Papa Das, of course, to speak about his nephew who is in need of urgent care. As we head into today's newscast, 4 persons are now confirmed to be in police custody pending investigations on the ruthless murder of Catherine Pickering, who would have died on April 19th. Now, the deceased was gunned down in front of her Paraquita Bay home as she ran to the rescue of her daughter, who was cornered by gunmen with intent to rob. Now, viewers, the recent arrests were confirmed by Information Officer Diane Drayton of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, who said, and I quote, "Police can confirm that 4 persons are presently in custody assisting with investigations into the murder of Catherine Pickering. Updates will be provided when they are available." End of quote. Now, viewers, according to previous reports from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, the force said, and I quote, "Initial reports indicate that the local businesswoman arrived home at Paraquita Bay just around 7:30 p.m. with her day's proceeds. Upon exiting the vehicle, she heard the voice of a male demanding money. Now, the mother of that businesswoman, who was at home at the time, heard noise outside and attempted to exit the house when she was shot." End of quote. Now, the assailant or assailants made off with a bag of money, but no one else was injured in the incident. Again, investigations are ongoing. You are encouraged, if you have any information regarding this incident, to reach out to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. As we move on, in response to a question in the House of Assembly, Honorable Premier Fahie gave details of the scale of response from the Government of the Virgin Islands to the Commission of Inquiry, COI, which was launched on the 19th of January. Now, in an overview of activity undertaken to date, Premier Fahie said that the manner in which the COI has been announced had caused unjustified harm to the reputation and image of the Virgin Islands, but expressed hope that with the return of the commissioner to the territory, there may be greater clarity on the focus of the COI going forward. Now, during his statement to the House, he made it very clear that the determination to dispel this incorrect perception of the BVI, was the driving force behind the considerable efforts undertaken by the government. Speaking to the House, the Premier said that, as with other countries, there were areas of policy and government that could be improved, but he said, and I quote, "The very broad, indeed the breathtaking scope of the COI could only have been justified if there had been a systematic breakdown in governance and the law and order of these islands. Mr. Speaker, there has been no such breakdown. The government's view is that the only way in which this shadow can now be effectively dispelled is by facilitating and helping the Commission of Inquiry to do its work objectively, so that the independent commissioner can form a fair, balanced, and transparent picture of the situation in the Virgin Islands and of its governance." End of quote. Now, viewers, the Premier thanked the hard work of the public officers which includes implementing the processes required and making arrangements for the government's IT services to deal with the secure handling of documents. He detailed the scale of the task in recent weeks, explaining that to date, the IRU, which of course is the Inquiry Response Unit set up under the Attorney General to deal with the COI, had responded to 51 requests for information and disclosed just about 3,977 official documents to the COI, consisting of 72,902 pages. Now, the breadth of data requested has to be noted for public expenditure purposes and needs to be accounted for. Now, viewers, the Premier explained that in addition to volumes, submitting this documentation has been time-consuming due to information sharing obligations. All official documents are subjected to strict conditions, and it has been the government's duty to ensure that it understands and has a record of the material it is allowing out of its possession and sending to the COI. This is particularly true in requests where confidential information is concerned, such as details of medical treatment and financial circumstances of individual Virgin Islanders who had applied to the government's hardship payments scheme set up in the wake of the devastation wrought by Hurricanes Irma and latterly the coronavirus pandemic. In these instances, private information, where not legally justified, has been redacted to protect individuals' right to privacy. The Premier further explained that in contrast, information from the COI has to date been limited. The government of the Virgin Islands remained uninformed of the focus of the Commissioner's interest and has been unable to assist in providing any additional material or contextual information. Looking towards future engagement with the Commissioner, the Premier said, and I quote, "The Commissioner, whom we welcomed again to these shores recently, indicated last week by the publication of the new rules and procedures how he will shape the future of his inquiry. I very much hope he will have regard to achieving the maximum possible transparency in this next stage. The IRU, acting under and on behalf of the Attorney General, will remain vital in helping to ensure the public's interest in the Virgin Islands in an efficient, fair, and balanced process as that is upheld." And of course, that was the Premier speaking during the House of Assembly just yesterday, really asking for clarity from the Commissioner of Inquiry's office as it relates to not only this inquiry, but the way forward. Now, viewers, still ahead, we are speaking to the uncle, Mr. Kenmore Glasgow, also known as Papadas, of Leondre Roberts, a young man who is now in dire need for your assistance as he heads off to Cuba for medical help. We have that and so much more when 284 News returns.
The win.
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, as we move on today, we are joined by a very, very special guest, Mr. Kenmore Glasgow, uncle of Leondre Roberts. Now, I'm sure by now you guys would have seen so many flyers and fundraising efforts. Today, we are so happy to be sitting down with Mr. Glasgow, of course, to discuss exactly why you two want to be a part of these efforts. Mr. Glasgow, welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to call you Papa Das. That's what we popularly know you as. Of course, a very well-known gospel artist here in the BVI. But today, on a very compassionate note, you are speaking about your nephew, Leondre Roberts. Now, Papa Das, we have seen the flyers. Clearly, so many efforts to raise funds for this 19-year-old vibrant young man. Just walk us through what happened, because I believe you were telling me on the 25th of September, this child suffered an asthma attack and is now in a critical condition.
Definitely. So actually, what happened to my loving nephew, Leondre Roberts? He is a real friendly young man.
Yes.
To all his peers, caring, respectable young man, and he always looked up to his uncle. I'm like a father figure to him as well. He railed up with my boys, and you know, when he got this asthma attack, the mother said to me that it was sometime in the night, and she had was to rush him to the hospital.
Okay.
When they do get there, because of the COVID-19 and the protocols that they were taking, they did not come to his rescue immediately.
Right.
So I understand that he was out of oxygen for some minutes, which, you know, doctors are saying you're not supposed to be out of oxygen for so long.
Right.
But when they do come to his rescue, I believe it was too late.
Wow.
So he went into you know, to a coma, so to speak, and from there they were fighting, you know, to bring him back. And my nephew, he went through a lot. He's a fighter. He is a fighter. I'm telling you. And when they do get him back, he did not come back 100%.
Okay.
You understand? And when I
Okay.
went to see him, the family went to see him, was so devastated. We all break down.
Right.
And
And I know that must have been hard because, like you mentioned, he was a very active 19-year-old student just graduating from the Virgin Islands Technical Institute as well. How long was he in a coma?
well, I would say at the time, it was about like 3 months. 3 months, he was like in and out, coming out and so on. And every time he tried to come out, he would have these seizures. And they would have no choice to give him medication to put him to sleep and whatever.
Okay.
And it's really devastated.
Right. I can imagine.
Yeah,
And I sympathize.
and the whole family, because but there's one thing, as a child of God, I believe in miracles.
Right.
You know, we have faith that he can come out.
Right.
So while he was in the hospital, the whole family sent prayers all over the place, and the news spread and everything. And the hospital decided that they cannot do anything else to him, and they had choice to, you know, either to send him to Edina Donovan home or else. But we said, as a family, his mother, which is Roselle Roberts,
Okay.
and which is now Roselle Pereira,
Yes.
said, no, we're not going to put him there. We're going to bring him home. So we brought him home, and then after we came together, I said to his mother, listen, you will have to quit your job. And that is faith. That is stepping out on faith. Looking
Yes.
at a mother now that don't have a job, she have to pay rent. You understand? It's going to be hard to take care of your son, and let us just step out in faith that help will come to assist you financially.
And of course, quitting her job so she can aptly take care of him at home, right?
Definitely,
Right.
because in some of these instances, you need family love. Most of the time to take care of your loved one.
Right.
So while we brought him home and giving him these love and therapies and stuff, you can see changes
Yes.
already start to occur.
Right, right.
You understand?
So he's at home now. What state is he in? Because you did mention that once he came out of that first coma, like he was never the same, right? Tell the viewers how he is now at home. Is he responsive? Is he talking? Is he able to consume food? And what state is he in right now as he prepares to go away to Cuba?
Well, we realized that he used to have a staring sight, and he don't normally stay like that anymore. His eyes is moving.
Okay.
We can see that happening. We realize again that he's sensitive to song. When he hears song, he responding.
Okay.
You understand?
Is he speaking?
He not speaking.
He's not speaking.
He's not speaking. And I believe if the thing comes out of his arm, he have a tube down in his throat, and then the one at his belly where his feet on.
Yes.
So right now he's bedridden.
Okay.
I
yeah.
believe if these things are gone, I believe he will talk. I mean, because we speak in faith.
Right.
You understand? Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen.
Absolutely.
So we believe that he can come true and he will come true.
Absolutely.
And we're not giving up on him.
All right. And
Because
I love that
who
mindset.
have the final say.
Yes, absolutely. Now let's speak about raising money, because I've seen several efforts. There is one coming up this Saturday. Let's speak about that one first. This seems to be a barbecue and car wash. Our viewers will be seeing that flyer soon up on the screen. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this one with the barbecue and the car wash, we postpone it for the following Saturday.
Okay,
Because,
so that has been postponed.
Yeah, because what happened, the Rotary Club, I believe, came to us and they're willing to help. I don't know, the pouring, the love that we get in and the support that we getting out there, people just coming to us and want to do something.
Absolutely.
They want to have something at Bobby's parking lot.
Yes.
Which is called a bake sale.
So that is happening this Saturday.
This Saturday. So instead of colliding those two things together, we decide, no, we will go there and give them the support and we will tell people about that.
So that's
what
this
we did,
Saturday.
we put off this car wash, this big car wash, which is going to be bring your car for a big car wash, and we will wash your car for you, and you will get a free lunch, a free barbecue. We're going to put off that for the following
Wow.
the following Saturday.
The following Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have planned that is coming up?
I think that will be it for now until somebody come to us again and say, listen, I want to do this.
Okay.
And that's just what happening, yeah.
So viewers, this Saturday, it's going to be in Bobby's parking lot. The Rotary family, of course, in collaboration with the family of Leondre Roberts, is definitely going to be doing a fundraiser. So please come out and support. And then the following Saturday, a barbecue and car wash. Now, outside of these fundraisers, let's just tell our viewers quickly, because we're running out of time, but can you just tell them, outside of these efforts, how they can support you? Give us a contact number. Is there bank information that deposits can be made? Of course, we want to see this young man recover and, of course, continue to contribute to this community that so rightly loves him. How can we reach you guys?
Well, actually, you can call me, 547-4348, because we were trying to set up something online, and somewhere along the line, we're not getting through.
Okay.
So that's one of the things you can do. And then I will put you on to further stuff where you can contribute.
Excellent.
But before I run out of time, I would like to thank some big donors.
Okay.
People who really, really don't, because right now we are chartering a plane to send him straight to Cuba.
Wow.
And that is not no easy money.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, yeah. So we want to thank Peter Haycraft. He is on it. Rotang Wholesale. We want to thank Super Value and some of the government members.
Yes.
A special thanks to some of them, and more coming as well. And we're really looking forward for the community, because the community actually, they're really reaching out to us, and we are so thankful and I'm grateful to them as well.
Absolutely. Now, viewers, just repeat the numbers quickly for persons who may not have heard it the first time.
Well, just give me a call at 547-4348, and I will give you the information, the bank information, which is my niece's account, where you have to put the money in so that she can get access to the money in case the bills are more than what they say it is when we go to Cuba.
Wow. Our prayers, our support is with you and your family. I want to thank you for coming on to spread awareness, and I pray that Wider BVI, as the compassionate community that we are, continue to support Leondre Roberts back to his full health. Thank you so much.
We want to thank you too, because I would say people just reaching out, and I thank you for reaching out to me, and that is doing something to really help spread the news around.
Absolutely. That's why we're here. Viewers, we are out of time, but we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, a revolutionary action on the international scene. Derek Chauvin was yesterday convicted on all 3 counts for murdering George Floyd. We have all the details, what that means for the BVI, but also a very touching tribute from our very own April Glasgow. Stick with us.
Gentlemen, inspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, we are so happy to be bringing you updates on a story that has been rocking international headlines all across the world. Now, the world waited with bated breath yesterday as Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis officer, as he was found guilty on all 3 counts for the murder of Mr. George Floyd. Now, the jury, just 11 hours of deliberation, delivered its verdict. And if you are yet to see that, let's listen in.
State of Minnesota plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, defendant. Verdict, count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson.
Now, viewers, Chauvin was handcuffed in the courtroom and, of course, eventually led away. The former officer was convicted after he was caught on camera kneeling on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Now, outside the courthouse, the crowd erupted in cheers. A world that had witnessed videos of Floyd's death under the knee of that very police officer yesterday, finally witnessing justice for Mr. George Floyd. Now, after a marathon closing arguments, the prosecutor argued that George Floyd died because of Chauvin's knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, and the defense countered that George Floyd's death was actually due to factors such as drug use and prior health conditions. Now, the jury of 6 whites and 6 black or multiracial people came back with its verdict after about just 10 hours of deliberations over 2 days. The now fired white officer was found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Now, viewers, Chauvin's face was obscured by a COVID-19 mask, and of course, you could see very little reaction beyond his eyes darting around in the courtroom. His bail, however, was immediately revoked, and sentencing will be in 2 months. Now, this is definitely going to carry charges up to about 40 years in prison, but persons are saying he could definitely face less. Now, the guilty convictions were a joyous moment for Floyd's family. His younger brother, Philonise Floyd, said, and I quote, "It makes us happier knowing that his life, it mattered and he didn't die in vain. Today, we are able to breathe again," end of quote. Now, viewers, the jury's decision was hailed around the world as justice by other political and civic leaders and celebrities, including former President Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and California Governor Gavin Newsom, a white man who said on Twitter that Floyd would still be alive if he looked like me. That must change. Now, viewers, we have seen how this gruesome murder caused a revolutionary ripple effect throughout the world. Many countries and nations stood in solidarity to demand justice. Even here in the BVI, a Black Lives Matter protest was held to bring awareness to the racially charged world that we live in, and of course, the atrocities that we continue to face as Black people across the world. But even in our plight, many persons were still questioning why. Why are we protesting here in the BVI? Why are we protesting across the region? What does this have to do with us? Well, to bring it full circle, viewers, this could have been any one of us. The BVI, the Caribbean region in general, it shares an intimate connection with the United States. Our children are born there. They go to school there. We vacation there. At any given time, this could have been one of our sons, one of our daughters, because in America, the police does not ask if you are Black American or Caribbean. They see Black, and Black is to be systematically attacked based on the records we have seen in the past. So yes, viewers, this is our problem, because an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The world, including us here in the BVI, couldn't any longer just sit back and witness the murder of our very own people. The world spoke, and the judicial system listened, and today we reap the victory for George Floyd. Now, I'd like to close out today's newscast by reciting a poem for George Floyd's daughter, Gianna Floyd, which was written by our very own Miss April Glasgow, and it really examines the riots that followed George Floyd's murder, and that it should never be compared to his life, which was lost. And the poem goes like this. What is a broken window to a daughter who will never again look through another window and see her daddy? Do not hurt your little head about breaking windows. If you are not hurt by the broken Black and brown bodies, brokenness is encrypted into the genetic code of your prejudice. So broken glass should feel like home. The splinters you pretend not to see pierce the soles of our feet, and we bleed. Your privilege demands it, but we demand truth. And until you are honest to yourself about the shattered glass and clean it up, we will continue to break anything, break everything worth breaking, break glass ceilings, break cycles of trauma, break generational curses, because this is revolution. Where you no longer have the authority to break us, we cannot see you anymore. We are too busy putting ourselves back together and blessing our children with the future that they deserve, free from your splinters. Now, viewers, just minutes before the guilty verdict was handed down to Derek Chauvin, a community in Columbus, Ohio, felt the sting of another police shooting, this time killing a 15-year-old Black girl named Ma'Khia Bryant. So while today we may see justice for George Floyd, the journey continues, as you can see. So we all have a responsibility to demand justice, to continue to speak up, not just for Micaiah, not just for Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, and so many others, but for every person who would have selfishly, lost their lives unnecessarily to police brutality. So this is your plea, my plea to you, to continue to speak up for justice, not just here in the BVI, but the world at large. Viewers, that is all the time we have, but you can join us tomorrow again for more 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson, and this has been my absolute pleasure. Good evening.